welcome back to another deck profile. Today we're looking at frogs again, finally. It's been a little bit, but honestly I haven't really changed the deck that much to warrant another video. But there's a couple changes, not a lot though. I did get some new sleeves, those custom frog sleeves, as you can see, which they were a gift from a friend. Pretty happy with those. So I'm pretty decked out in the frog merch. Anyways, let's just jump right into this. So of course we are playing the triple swap. Yeah, what else can I say about this card? Then yeah, it's absolutely necessary. And of course, if we ever get our boy Ronintoadin back, he becomes even better. But basically, all you really use swap for in the deck is to send our tadpoles to the graveyard. And a couple other frogs if you want to dump them. But for the most part, it's going to be your tadpoles. And we are playing the triple flip-flop frog. I do like this card in here. You can do some silly stuff with like adding with Toad's effect to special summon from the deck. You can do flip-flop frog, and then he flips up, and then he sends monsters your opponent controls back to the hand for however many frogs you control. So if you have swap, flip-flop, and like unifrog or dupe frog or something, like 3 frogs, then you can return 3 cards from your opponent's field to the hand. It's pretty useful, and he can reset himself as well. Unlike, was it Penguin Soldier, who you get 1 flip from, but flip-flop, you can keep flipping him back down by his own effect. And he's a level 2, which is important. Unifrog. If we ever get Ronin back, this is probably the card I'll cut, Unifrog. He can attack your opponent directly, and then when he does successfully make a direct attack and you control another frog, he can destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. But it's good if you can get it off. But he's again another level 2. So dupe frog is the second best frog for sure. When he's sent to the graveyard, from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 frog monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And for this deck, it's important that he's also treated as Death Frog while on the field. Speaking of Death Frog, we play 3 of him. He is a level 5, so you have to tribute to normal summon him, but I'll show you why that's not really a big deal. Basically, when you normal summon him, you get to summon as many of more copies of him as there are tadpoles in the graveyard. So as long as you have at least 2 tadpoles in the graveyard, you're good. We do play 3, but that's honestly for cost, so you can special summon swap from the hand and things like that. And yeah. And tribute fodder for Death Frog himself as well. But anyways, yeah, Death Frog is very important to this deck, and you'll see why if you've seen the other profile. And then we played the 1 Substitute as well, 1 copy. I honestly would have rather have kept Ronintoadin than get this back, but hey, you know, that's sprites for you. But that is it for the monsters. And for the spells, we are still playing the triple aquarium stage. I really like this card in here because your monsters are small. You know, they have very little attack, and aquarium stage helps a lot. Plus, if it's destroyed, you can special summon an aqua from your graveyard, which all of your monsters are aqua, they're frogs. But water monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle with non-water monsters. So it's kind of useless if you go against another water deck, but you know, the chances of that are pretty low. Aquarium set. I still like this card in here over, let's see, other card. Oh, Wetlands, the field spell, because you're getting 300 attack and defense part being important, but also Wetlands only gives that attack bonus to level 2 aquas, level 2 and lower. But, you know, when you're making Toad, and you have like my Starboy, and even like some of the other frogs, like, you know, our big body, Dust Frog, he doesn't gain any of that attack. Most of the time, you're really not keeping Swap, Flip Flop, Uni, Dupe, any of them really on the field. So Wetlands doesn't really help that much. Plus, it has the same effect of when it's sent to the graveyard, destroyed. You can special summon an Aqua. So, pretty nice. Then the Death Croaking, of course. This is, yeah, when there's 3 face-up Death Frogs on your side of the field, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Spells, traps, monsters, everything. Which, like I said, you have basically 6 copies of Death Frog, because Dupe Frog counts. And then again, I keep harping back to it, but if we ever get Ronin back, he is also counted as Death Frog. Then we play 3 Surface. You can bring back basically any card in your deck with this card, except for Death Frog, because he's level 5, but still. And it brings him back in defense position. We play Triple Salvage as well. I love this card in here. It's really, really helpful. You have a lot of targets for it. Basically everyone except for, you guessed it, Death Frog again, 1900 attack. But everybody else is a target. 1 Monster Reborn. Really, really helpful, especially if you want to just bring back one of your Toads as well. If you didn't add him back by his own effect, but you can bring back your Toad if you've already used him, of course. Then we play Regeki, Harpies, and the new card that I added in here, which is amazing, Time-Tearing Morganite. The only card that this kind of messes with is Swap Frog, but here's the thing, right, is Swap Frog's hand ability, because Time-Tearing Morganite doesn't allow you to use monster effects in the hand, and the only one that does that is Swap Frog, but the Swap Frog ability is for him to discard another water monster to special summon himself. Well, Time-Tearing Morganite gives you 2 normal summons for the rest of the duel. So there's no point in doing that with Swap Frog. So it is a perfect card in this deck, Time-Tearing Morganite. I love this card in here. Plus, you get draw 2 cards instead of 1 for every draw phase, so that's really nice too. Yeah, I love this card in here. It's amazing. I was going to say, like, the only card that messes up is Swap Frog, but it doesn't, really. There's no point in doing that when you have 2 normal summons every turn, so there you go. That is it for the spells. Jump right into the extra deck. We are playing, of course, Triple Toad. 3 Totally Awesomes. Omni Negate, you know, obviously. But you do have to tribute a Aqua from your hand or field, which is amazing. Because you can keep adding back frogs to your hand so you don't have to tribute himself. That's the idea. You don't want to tribute Toad himself, but most people do in other decks because you summon him with Bahamut, you know, things like that. But in the frogs, you can actually tribute like other Aquas and keep him on the field over and over and over. And then his detach effect is during the standby phase, you can special summon a frog from the deck. Usually the most ideal play is you have your Toad on your opponent's standby phase. When you pass, you summon out Dupe Frog. They can only attack Dupe Frog, and then when it goes to another turn, you know, back to me, you summon back Dupe Frog, and then your opponent cannot declare an attack at all. This is the Dupe block. They cannot declare an attack because they have to attack Dupe Frog, but wait, they also have to attack Dupe Frog, so it creates a lock and they can't attack at all. So that is Toad. The Starboy, of course, this card actually helps a lot because your monsters have such little attack, and you can kind of spam out the field with a lot of Aquas. Coral Enemy, same kind of deal. Let's say you can get like 2 frog. You want to keep getting Dupe Frog basically out on the field. You want to. If the only frog that'll stay out on the field is probably dupe. So if you have like swap and flip flop, you can go back into Coral Anemone and then bring out the dupe frog from your graveyard to get your dupe frog back. So it's kind of what an enemy is for. Then we do some of the one-ofs. We have Area, the Water Charmer, Emerald Sea Dragon, Zelantis for the Coral Anemone Zelantis combo. If you don't know, Coral Anemone takes 2 waters. You summon the 2 waters, then you bring out, use Coral Anemone's effect to bring out a frog from the graveyard, and then just get 1 more monster to make a 4, and you summon Zelantis. Zelantis' effect is to banish all cards on the field. Yeah, during your main phase, you can banish all monsters on the field, then special summon as many monsters that were banished by that effect to their owner's fields. However, because you're doing the summoning, Coral Anemone locks you into water monsters. So if your opponent is not playing water, they will not get any of their monsters back. If they're playing all dark, you banish them all with World Sea Dragon. Because you're doing the summoning, you're locked into water, so you cannot summon their monsters back. So, pretty funny. And then we play Boar Load, Access Code. Honestly, sub in whatever extra deck monster you really want. You know, before it was like Apollosa, things like that. But really, dealer's choice on these two. Cat Shark and Gigantic Sprite. Because level 2s, obviously. But, yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Like I said, nothing's really changed except for the addition of Time-Tearing Morganite and the extra deck a little bit. But this card just absolutely makes this deck 1,000 times better. You get 2 normal summons, and you get to draw 2 every turn. So, 2 things that this deck really needed, honestly. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.